Welcome to the GED Test English Language Arts Parts of Speech video tutorial. In this tutorial, you're going to learn about the basic parts of speech. The parts of speech are the foundation for successful writing, editing, and composing. The material in this tutorial corresponds to the language assessment targets and the grammar and usage content area on the GED test. So let's go ahead and get started. The parts of speech that will be covered in this tutorial are nouns, pronouns, adjectives, verbs, adverbs, and conjunctions. Let's start with nouns. A noun is the name of a person, place, thing, object, or idea. There are 4 types of nouns. We have proper nouns, which is the official name of a person, place, thing, object, or idea, such as the state of California or the Eiffel Tower. We also have collective nouns, which represents a group of persons or things or animals, such as a congregation or a flock of birds or a pride of lions. We have abstract nouns, which names a quality or general idea, like fear or happiness. And then there are concrete nouns. Those are the names of a physical object, such as a car or a house. It's quiz time. Identify the following types of nouns as either a proper noun, collective noun, abstract noun, or concrete noun. Check the comments section for the answers. Let's talk about pronouns. A pronoun is a word that is used in place of a noun. We have about 4 different types of pronouns. We have personal pronouns, which are persons or objects to whom the pronoun refers. For instance, he sat by the seashore. In this example, the word he is a personal pronoun. We have demonstrative pronouns, which are pronouns that show or indicate something. For instance, these are too small. In this example, the word these is pointing to something or showing something, which makes it a demonstrative pronoun. We also have indefinite pronouns. These are pronouns that reference some unspecified amount or quantity. Indefinite pronouns are used quite frequently. For instance, a lot of books were missing. In this example, the words a lot refers to some unspecified amount or quantity, which makes it an indefinite pronoun. And then we have pronoun antecedents. These are words that a pronoun refers to. For instance, the artist knew his paintbrushes were old. His is the pronoun that refers to the antecedent, artist. It's quiz time. Identify the pronoun antecedent pair. Check the comments section below for the answers. Let's talk about adjectives. An adjective is a word that modifies or describes a noun or a pronoun. But how do we identify an adjective in a sentence? Well, the first thing that we want to do is identify the noun or the pronoun. Then we're going to ask ourselves 3 questions. What kind, how many, which one? The answers to these 3 questions will reveal what the adjective is. Let's look at an example. The ugly gray suit was Big Jerry's. There are 2 nouns in this sentence, suit and Jerry. Let's start with suit. What kind of a suit was it? Ugly and gray. Ugly and gray describes suit, which means ugly and gray are adjectives. Let's look at Jerry. Which Jerry are we talking about? The big one. Big describes Jerry, so that means big is an adjective. It's quiz time again. Identify the adjectives in the following sentences. Check the comments section for the answers. Let's talk about verbs. A verb is a word or phrase used to express action or a state of being. There are about 4 types of verbs. We have a simple verb, which is the present tense of a verb such as walk, talk, or jump. Then we have regular verbs, the past tense of a simple verb that ends in D or ED, such as walked, talked, or jumped. We also have irregular verbs. An irregular verb is the past tense of a verb that doesn't end in D or ED, such as give goes to gave, take goes to took, and lay goes to laid. An irregular verb is typically a different word altogether. And then we also have helping verbs. A helping verb is the past participle of a verb that requires the use of the verbs have, had, or has. For example, he done it already. This is grammatically incorrect. Done is the past participle of the word do. Hence, done needs the helping verb has. He has done it already. This is grammatically correct. Okay, let's move on to adverbs. An adverb is a word that describes a verb, an adjective. It can describe itself, a phrase, or a clause. But how do we identify an adverb in a sentence that has a whole bunch of other words in it? Well, the first thing that we want to do is identify the noun. After we identify the noun, we can identify the words that describe the noun. After that, we're going to ask ourselves the following questions: when, where, why, or how? The answers to these questions will reveal the adverb. For instance, Frank is incredibly annoying to his quite passive wife. There are two nouns in this sentence. Let's start with the first noun, Frank. Which Frank are we talking about? The annoying one. Annoying describes Frank, so that means annoying is an adjective. How annoying is Frank? Incredibly annoying. Incredibly describes annoying, so that means incredibly is an adverb. Let's move on to the second noun in this sentence, wife. What kind of wife did Frank have? A passive wife. Passive describes wife, so that means passive is an adjective. How passive is she? Quite passive. Quite describes passive, which means quite is an adverb. It's quiz time again. Identify the adverbs in the following sentences. Check the comments section for the answers. And now we come to our final part of speech, which would be conjunctions. A conjunction is a word or phrase that joins other words, phrases, or clauses. We have about 3 types of conjunctions. We have a coordinating conjunction, which is a word or phrase that joins complete sentences. The common types of coordinating conjunctions are and, but, or nor. For instance, in sentence number 1, we have, I wanted to go to Mary's party. This is a complete sentence. In sentence number 2, we have, I decided to stay at home. Also a complete sentence. We could join those 2 sentences into one sentence using a coordinating conjunction. In the final sentence we get, I wanted to go to Mary's party, but I decided to stay home. We use the coordinating conjunction but. The second conjunction would be correlative conjunction. A correlative conjunction is a 2-word pair that links words, phrases, or clauses that are grammatically identical, and that is the key, grammatically identical. Common correlative conjunctions would be both and, not only but also. We also have the 2-word pair either or, neither nor, or whether or. Let's look at this example. Whether we go to the beach or to the zoo is fine with me. Clearly, we're using the correlative conjunction whether or. But let's check for the grammatically identical words, phrases, or clauses. We have the phrase, to the beach. This is a noun phrase. In order to use the whether or correlative conjunction or any correlative conjunction, we need another noun phrase. The other noun phrase would be to the zoo. Given that to the beach and to the zoo are both noun phrases, they are grammatically identical, and that makes this the correct usage of the correlative conjunction. And now we come to our last conjunction, which would be a subordinating conjunction. This is a conjunction used to indicate the relationship between a dependent clause and an independent clause. For instance, we have the dependent clause, dinner was delicious. We also have an independent clause, the chef was distasteful. We can join the dependent clause and the independent clause into one final sentence using a subordinated conjunction and get, although dinner was delicious, the chef was distasteful. The subordinating conjunction although describes the relationship between the chef and dinner. It's quiz time again. Which type of conjunctions are used in the following sentences? Check the comments section for the answers. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned for a new tutorial next week. And if you're new to the Smart Cards YouTube channel, click the subscribe button.